Well, it's June 9th, and that means it's time to celebrate the cartoon character that gave us a slang term for waking up with a shirt and no pants on. That's right, it's National Donald Duck Day. Donald Duck is an American icon and a staple of modern American history and pop culture. In celebration, here are 10 historical facts about Donald Duck you might not know about. Number 10. Donald got a facelift. When Donald Duck made his first appearance June 9, 1934 in a Disney Silly Symphonies cartoon titled The Wise Little Hen, Donald looked a little bit different. This iteration of Donald Duck had a larger bill, smaller feet, and a little bit more junk in the trunk. It wasn't until 1936 that Donald was redesigned to more closely resemble the duck we know now, in an attempt to make him cuter and more palatable for American audiences. Number 9. Donald Duck has a middle name and it's kinda weird. Donald's full name is Donald Fauntleroy Duck, a reference to the hat that he's often depicted wearing. This headgear is known as a Fauntleroy hat, a staple of these fresh get-ups that became popular in the late 19th century. These suits were based upon a children's book titled Little Lord Fauntleroy, and were basically the parachute pants of the 1880s. Also, it's important to note that this makes Donald's last name Duck, which is basically the equivalent of me being named Alex Sad Loser. Number 8. Donald once unofficially released a disco song. In 1976, Rick Dees and his cast of idiots released the song Disco Duck, which prominently features vocals by someone that sounds a lot like Donald Duck. It was such a great imitation that people believed this song to be sanctioned by Disney and performed by the true voice of Donald, Clarence Nash. Disney denied any involvement, but the public had already made its mind up. Number 7. Donald is the only TV character to be the official mascot of an American university. In the 1940s, Walt Disney and the University of Oregon's athletic director Leo Harris made a handshake agreement licensing the use of Donald Duck to the school provided that it was in good taste. Following Disney's death, the two organizations reached a far more formal agreement in 1973. This deal came with a number of restrictions, like Disney being able to determine where and when the duck publicly performed. In 2010, Oregon and Disney mutually decided to part ways and removed any association between Donald Duck and the Oregon Duck from each other. Number 6. Donald was once an employee of the U.S. government. In 1978, Donald Duck was entered into the employee database of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. He was given a salary of $99,000, which was almost double what civil servants were legally allowed to be paid at the time. Donald was one of 30 fictitious characters offered this new job as a test to see if the government's computer were able to detect payroll fraud. They were not. Number 5. Donald Duck is a form of protest in some Scandinavian countries. In Sweden, 1 in 20 people choose to cast ballots for unofficial write-in candidates, usually as a way to express disdain for the actual options that they have. Donald Duck has become the most popular of these write-ins, with enough support for the so-called Donald Duck Party to be the 9th largest political organization in Sweden. Number 4. Donald was once a Nazi. During World War II, Donald was enlisted to star in a number of propaganda films, one of which was titled Der Führer's Face, a short in which Donald plays a Nazi duck who realizes how much living in Nazi Germany blows. The whole thing turns out to be a dream, and the short film ends with Donald waking up and tossing a tomato in Hitler's face. Number 3. Donald has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Donald Duck was given this Hollywood honor in 2004, joining other cartoon icons such as Bugs Bunny, Winnie the Pooh, and Godzilla. Not only does Donald have a star, but he also has an Oscar, winning in 1943 for Der Führer's Face, which, we just talked about. Not only that, but he also hosted the Academy Awards in 1958, alongside stars like Jimmy Stewart and Bob Hope. Number 2. Donald has made the most film appearances out of any other Disney character. Appearing in over 150 theatrically released films and shorts, Donald holds the record for the most appearances of any Disney character. He's even been in more films than Mickey, even though he's 6 years younger. Donald is also the most published non-superhero comic book character in the world. Number 1. Donald is colorblind. In the 1942 film Donald Gets Drafted, Donald goes to his local draft board and joins the army. His application is accepted even though he fails a vision test for colorblindness and has flat feet. You and me both, brother. Well, that's all I gotta say about that. Thanks so much for suffering through this video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe, and if you didn't, come on, just do me a solid, subscribe anyway. All right, well, have a good one.